Hey, this is Gun Sully for the podcast, and this is another Keto Cooking Sunday. The keto diet is something that I have used to lose about 60 pounds on. I went from about 300 pounds to now in the 230s, and I want to help you use some of the tips and tricks that I've used to maintain a healthy keto diet. Enjoy another Keto Cooking Sunday. Hey, this is Sully for the podcast. Keto Cooking Sunday, episode 3. I'm very excited. Today we're going to make something a little complex, a little crazy. Pizza. Keto pizza. And it's sort of my own twist on it. So I've got everything I need here to do that. We've got chicken. We're going to make the crust out of chicken. And we're going to make some special zero-carb sauce. And got the cheese. Let's take a look at our ingredients. So we've got chicken breasts for the crust. We're also going to be using 2 eggs, onion powder, and some baking, made for baking protein powder. And of course, like Alton Brown says, don't forget your salt. And for our sauce, I'm going to make a very special super low to no carb sauce out of my favorite salsas, some salt for flavor, and Valentina. And then we're going to make it not seem like Tex-Mex with some Italian seasoning and some garlic powder. And for the toppings, we have some mushrooms, a low-carb topping there. Still has carbs, so don't go crazy with them. Banana peppers and some cheese. This is my favorite Joseph Farms cheese that I get from Walmart, which has 0 carbs. And the camera does not want to focus on that, but it has 0 carbs. We have Parmesan, and these are some wonderful jalapeno peppers, which I can't live without. Okay, what we have here is our chicken breast. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to take this, chop it up into pieces, put it in the meat grinder, and then have our own ground chicken. You don't need to do this though. You could just buy ground chicken from the store. It's just a little more expensive. If you wanted to get chicken meat though and grind it yourself, you're going to save some money. So I happen to have a Cabela's meat grinder here, which you can pick up from obviously your local Cabela's store. But they need to pay me, give me some free stuff from Cabela's. Anyway, we are going to cut to later when we've done this. So you don't have to watch us cut up this gross raw meat. Feed it in the grinder. Okay, so I've got my beautiful ground chicken. And we're going to go ahead and add 2 eggs into this. No eggshell. Woo! Yes. Hate it when that happens. You bust an egg and a little teeny tiny piece of eggshell jumps in there. And then you're like chasing the little piece of eggshell around with your hands. Wash my hands because I just touched raw egg. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. Good amount of salt actually, because onion powder. This is more for flavoring, and then one of our good binding ingredients. Also, only 1 gram of carb for this. Well, approximately for the whole thing, and that should work out pretty well to turn this into kind of a little bread dough. A nice Kizza dough. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 more scoop of protein powder in this. Okay. There you go. Putting 1 more scoop of protein powder in there. Make sure this binds properly. Make sure it acts a little more like dough. Still, you can eat this whole thing. It's only 2 carbs. Look at that, it's acting like dough. There we go. Getting some resistance now. Yeah. Alright. This is ready to be flattened out in the tray, well, on my on my parchment paper. Alright, so I've lined the pan with the parchment paper, and I'm gonna start squishing the chicken dough out into the pan here. Get it into the corners, make it easier to deal with here. Alright, spread it around. Alright, we have one full pan and one like 15/16 of a pan. So now we're going to bake these a little bit and make sure the chicken is cooked. When you're dealing with regular dough, you got raw eggs, which is dangerous. When you're dealing with this, you have raw chicken, which is even more dangerous, more of a risk of salmonella. So you got to make sure these are cooked all the way through. Time to make the sauce. Now I'm going to use some Valentina. This is however you want to do it, and if you have the carbohydrates to spare in your diet to use some tomato sauce, that's a good option to actually use like a little bit of tomato sauce and like water it down some. But I like to use these zero carb options, some spicy Taco Bell hot sauce and some Valentina. I'm just gonna use that whole bottle. You don't like the hot, use the mild sauce. Also has zero carbs. I'm gonna use some garlic powder to turn it into an Italian dish, and then you know, this covers the Italian thing a little bit more in a thorough way here. Now this has gone from looking like hot sauce to marinara sauce, except it's not tomato based and there's no sugar in it. We're going for a deep savory taste, so we want ours to be salty and spicy. That's good. I'm going to add some mild in there to even out the flavor. It's a little too spicy, so I'm going to even out the flavor with some mild, because I got two pizzas to finish out with this, and this is all up to you how you want to do this. There's several keto cooking pizzas ingredients and sauces to look into. So these have had a 15-minute head start on the rest of our pizza, which like I said, you need to have that since it's chicken. Now what I'm going to do here is get rid of the parchment paper, and I'm actually going to flip it. I'm going to flip the whole thing around upside down here so that it cooks evenly. Boom. And now I'm going to spread the toppings on here, and this is my beautiful marinara sauce that I made. Oh my gosh, okay, wonderful. And now that the pizza is covered in my makeshift marinara, now I'm using cheddar, and as I said, I'm using cheddar because it's Joseph Farms cheddar. It's zero carb. You can use whatever type of cheese you like, but I would encourage you to use a zero carb cheese because some cheeses use cornstarch in their packaging and in their the way they are processed. So you want to be careful to avoid things that will hinder ketosis, because that's the whole point of our diet. This is going to be the fancy pizza. You can put whatever toppings you want on here. I'm going to put mushrooms on this pizza. This whole pizza is going to be spicy. I'm going to put on here jalapeños. Jalapeños are incredibly low carb, incredibly high flavor. So I encourage everyone to go crazy with jalapeños. Go crazy with them. Go nuts. But, you know, they're not without carb. They're just very, very low carb. Okay. And I think might be enough banana peppers. Okay. Now, obviously you can put whatever you want on this. You want to put bacon or ground beef or sausage. You can do whatever you want. This is your pizza. I just want chicken on chicken on chicken on chicken on chicken. So that's how I'm doing things. This is the chickeniest pizza ever. This is some lightly seasoned chicken. I just tossed it in the fryer earlier. Had it on a low simmer with this a little bit of seasoning. So it's seasoned chicken. Back in the oven. Okay. This is our cheddar spicy Kizza keto pizza, and since this is a non-stick pan, we're not going to cut it in the pan. We're going to set it over here to cut it, and we're going to do the same for this one, and then I'm going to have a bite of pizza. See how it tastes. Alright, time for me to taste the final product. I've sprinkled it with some Parmesan cheese to make it just a little bit more pizza. That was the mushroom there. Now let me try my spicy. That's pizza. We made pizza. We made keto pizza. We did it. Alright. Alright, that's it for this week's Keto Cooking Sunday. Like and subscribe. Tune in next week. We're going to be doing something just as awesome as this. I don't know. This is amazing. This is so good. I'm really going to have to game plan to come up with something more awesome than this. So stay tuned, subscribe, and tune in for another Keto Cooking Sunday. This is Sully for the podcast. Keep cooking it out. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that. Please like this video and subscribe. Feel free to comment other types of food that you would like to see me cooking for Keto Cooking Sunday. So, like I said, like and subscribe. If you subscribe, that helps me out. If you like, that makes me feel good. So, like and subscribe, and tune in next week for another Keto Cooking Sunday. Bye.